What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Prophecy Podcast. I'm your host, Obese the Prophet. We'll be joined later on by the co-host, my cousin Justin Martin. And tonight we got a super dope episode. We got Maine legend in the rap game, not as an artist, but as a promoter, as a record label guy, as an artist and repertoire guy, someone who really knows hip hop talent and has been involved in so many people's careers. We got Sean Smith here with us tonight, and so we're just gonna jump into it. I'm gonna go on the fly with the sponsors. I know that we talk about MPC stuff being a sponsor. It's one of my favorite websites. Anytime I need anything for any Akai machines, I head there. It's fast, free shipping and quality stuff. So if you're looking for anything for your Akai machines, upgrades or replacements, head over to mpcstuff.com and check them out. Obviously, we are sponsored by I Regret Nothing Apparel. Just recently released some new stuff. They got some socially conscious designs. They're a Black Maine small owned business. So it doesn't really get much better than that, and we love to support them. And smoke break, and as usual, on 367 4th Street down the old. They just went from medical to rec, so no longer need a med card to go in there. Yeah, go stop in, check them out for premium cannabis products. Elevate Audio and Visual, obviously, promo, music videos, check it out, websites, whatever you need, elevateaudioandvisual.com. And last but not least, Bars Over Bars. Obviously, without them, we wouldn't be having these shows, and we wouldn't be bringing you this content. So, without further ado, let's get into tonight's guest. What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's up, my man? Been a minute.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you checked out any of the shows or the episodes, but normally we get started with like a bio. Just kind of let everybody who's tuning in, who's going to watch this in the future, kind of know how you got your start in this whole music thing, and what roles you have played over the years, and not just Maine, but New England music history.
I got to start. I started promoting shows. 1999 was the first hip hop show that I actually promoted by myself. And then we kind of kicked it into high gear in the early 2000s. There was a club up at the University of Maine called Club Ushuaia. Mm-hmm. Me and my man Alex Gray from Waterfront Concerts. We started bringing up some bigger names. Some Talib Kweli's, Nappy Roots back in the day, some Wu-Tang guys. Lloyd Banks and G-Unit guys like that, which was, back in the day, it was kind of very risky, but everything was successful, and he allowed us some leeway, and we were able to bring in some, big pop acts and whatnot. I mean, I don't know if you remember the shows we did back then, but like Sean Kingston, I could go on and on, though.
Yeah, and, I've been to a number of them, so yeah.
So, that's where we got our start, and from there, it was more. I was always on the back end of things, kind of like, connecting the dots, doing the logistic things as opposed to being up on the stage. Yeah. And with that, I was actually able to network very well with a lot of tour managers. The artists themselves, I've been able to maintain some, lifelong, relationships with them now. I consider a lot of them friends. And that's kind of carried me to where we're at now. And over the years, we've continued to promote shows. We did that right up until, COVID hit, we're promoting shows. And we tried to do a show last summer. We're hoping we're getting to the point where we can do some more shows and do some more live events again. That's something that's never going to be done. Queen City Entertainment is something that's been a staple in Maine hip hop for 20 plus years now.
Yep.
We don't ever see that going anywhere, in that regard. But, I've been very blessed to work with a few artists, not necessarily from Maine, but we're living in Maine at the time.
Yeah.
We had some good runs, over the years,
Yeah.
And I know
affiliate, right? Affiliate for a while too. Right?
Yeah. That was a great run.
Is he still making music now? Affiliate?
I believe he is.
Yeah.
He went, in a different direction, as far as management's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
With Flophouse Records, he wanted to go in a different direction, and we always supported that. Me and TJ always supported that. Um, but and that's something that we do miss. We miss making music and producing music, I guess you could say. I mean, that's
Yeah.
something that we definitely miss. But as somebody that makes music, it's very time consuming. Like
Right.
and you got to be all in. You got to be all in on
Right.
that. So
Yeah, it's you kind of got to pick your thing. These days, I still make beats, but not as often. I'm into kind of doing a lot of video stuff now and trying
yeah.
to get
Oh, you're
into
doing
the
a great job, bro. I see it.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm trying to do that now, and it's like, sometimes shit gets stagnant, and you just got to kind of try something new, keep it moving.
Right.
I was always into video, so I'm like, I'm gonna try that out. Got some shit and kind of
Oh
looked
yeah,
at
no.
YouTube shit and just went for it. But yeah,
Yeah.
so what early on kind of got you into hip hop? Were you just always listening to hip hop? Was there a certain time
Uh,
you remember where you're like, oh, this is it?
oh yeah. I mean, I could pinpoint the exact time. The exact moment. I grew
Hmm.
up on military bases. I remember going downstairs. My buddy Adrian's older brothers. They were sitting around on milk crates watching a VHS tape of Public Enemy tour. It was like 1987, 1988, bro. Like Beastie Boys were on it. Like it was wild, dog. You know what I mean? It was like at that moment, I was
Yeah,
like, this is what I listened to. It was
yeah,
from that point on. I was young and impressionable, and it's kind of just been part of that, that movement, that everyday movement now. You know what I mean? Like it's just who I
yeah,
am.
yep,
And when these kids started rapping up here, when I got into college and started meeting kids that were rapping and had some artistic abilities, there was real no direction at that time. And I didn't know what I was doing either, but I was like, all right, I can't rap,
yeah,
I could DJ a little, you know what I mean? But that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm a
right.
business major, like let me put this to work. And
Yeah, how can I make
yeah,
this work with what I want to do? Yeah,
yeah. We had a good run, you know what I mean? And since then, like, I've been able to do a lot of great things. I've worked with, different radio stations. I've done, worked
yep,
on different tours. I've shit, dog. I can tell you some stories. You know what I mean? Like, and it's brought me some places. And I'm definitely blessed. And it's always gonna be a part of what I'm doing.
yep,
Definitely.
yep. Um, moving on. Let's I don't know if you kind of like short notice or whatever, but normally I talk a little bit about some weird shit that's been going on or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if you heard this, but the people that are going out and buying the ivermectin, like the horse dewormer stuff to try to prevent COVID, was like people are going out and doing that. And I thought that was very strange. To me, that's weird,
What people will do. People will do the weirdest shit to be different. I guess you know what I mean. Like, and I don't get it. Like, I'm not a smart dude. Like, I'm a smart guy, but I'm not like science was not my thing. There's people smarter than me that do that shit.
Right.
And I know if they telling me not to take dewormer, I'm probably not going to take dewormer.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, they're having a huge uptick of people, ivermectin prescriptions, but it's not going to animals. It's people. It's crazy.
And I
100%.
have, and like the FDA has to come out and the CDC has to come out and tell people like, what are you people doing? And it's like I don't get it.
Yeah.
This whole thing's brought out the crazies though. You know what I mean?
No, oh yeah, definitely. But the FDA actually tweeted, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it." Like that's what they had to tweet out. Like for me,
I
like
mean,
have to go that far as to tweet something out that in regards to this is crazy in my mind. And I've been noticing, it seems like a lot of people are on edge. A lot more people are like just being a little crazier than maybe they normally would be.
right.
But it still doesn't really excuse it much, especially with so many people coming out and like you said, science people who are pay grades above where we're at, like they're coming out and saying, look, stop doing it, it's dangerous for you, you could die and whatever else, like it's not good for you, but they just keep doing it.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
A bunch of
I
weird
don't get
people
all
that
that stuff. You know what I mean? Right.
are out there. But yeah, so another thing too we always like to talk about on the show is UFO. So I got a little story that's related to that. That's kind of weird, but um, there's obviously been a renewed interest in UFOs or UAPs. I don't know what the fuck they call them now, but because of that report that was supposed to come out, that was supposed to be like some big
Right.
report. But all they basically said was we still don't know what they are or whatever. Uh, but yeah, there's a new study that's compiled some statistics from the National UFO Reporting Center, It tells when and where the little green men are likely to pop up in the U.S. So to sum it all up, if you really want to see it, a UFO, or at least misinterpret a completely ordinary celestial object as an alien vessel, you will want to be out in the springtime on the West Coast. That's where the aliens seem to favor, particularly over California. So they just say
Bro, I
that,
just got back from Cali. There's some weirdos out there.
yeah,
There's
definitely a
definitely
lot of
some
weird stuff
aliens out
going
there.
on. Yeah, a bunch of aliens. And but yeah, a lot of reports. I guess April had over 1,000 reports last year in California. So yeah, busy out there for the aliens and all that stuff during that time of the year. But California has a lot of people. So obviously, the more people that are around to look up, and it's the more fucking reports or whatever you're gonna have. So
Right.
kind of take those numbers for whatever you want to take them for. But yeah, UFOs. Maybe we end up having to go out there just to see if we can see some UFOs someday. Make
Oh,
it
I
like
mean, they're out there.
yeah, so make it like a tax write off. Like this is business. Like I need to go out here and see if I can see
Yeah, I
something.
mean, they're out there, dog. Anybody that
Uh,
thinks that there's nothing out there is, I mean, obviously.
yeah. Shit. So yeah, I mean, that's strange. What do you think? What's your take on like what happened in fucking Afghanistan? Like you've followed up on that at all? Like have you seen like what
Yeah, I
they
mean,
think it's good,
it's
bad,
tough. Like
otherwise?
again, I grew up, like I said, I grew up in a military,
Yeah. That's
household.
why I'm asking.
Like my granddad, I just was, he's 86 years old. I was
Yeah.
just able to spend some time with him, for a few weeks, and he's got Fox News plugged right in,
Yeah.
and it's sad the way that the media pulls people apart,
Yeah.
but this is actually something that, like, people that have a military background, or they get they can't, they're not blaming one specific president right now. You know what I mean? Like, this has been something that's been dragging out, and people want to point to, like, George Bush, when he started it. Bro,
Yeah.
you and I both know, and again, I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole and talk about conspiracies all day.
Yeah.
They've been protecting Afghanistan since the 70s. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like, this is, who are we gonna blame?
Mhm.
This is not one administration's fault. So I mean, I'm disgusted by it. Like any other American is at this point.
Yeah.
You know, we should have been out of there a whole long time ago.
Yeah.
You know,
Um, but I mean, it's like the Taliban kind of taking over, but they're kind of trying to portray themselves differently than the last time. I feel like it'll end up just being the same. It's just kind of
of
like
course,
this thing, and now we're saying, oh, August 31st, the deadline or whatever. They're saying it doesn't matter. They're still going to be there trying to evacuate people, and they're saying people will be able to leave freely as so they choose and stuff like that.
right?
So I just hope that, because I mean we're really on the our climate thing is one huge concern. What's happening
Yeah,
in climate, and I feel
right,
like
right.
going to war again, if we end up having to do that, it's just going to be bad all around. Like it's
Yeah, I
not a
mean, war
time
is not good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
the only thing war is good for is the economy, which is sad. To sad to say. And what's that tell you? You know what I
Right.
mean? What's that tell you? And again, like, I'm to the point now where I don't even lean one way or the other anymore. But it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. It's there's a lot of things that are fucking wrong that have been going on for way past the presidents that we could even be in our lifetime. It was happening
Yeah, like
before.
I'm past blaming the last guy. I'm 45. I'm you know what I mean? Like, this is what
Yeah, he's not
this
in
has
there
been an
anymore.
issue.
There's a bunch of other
Yeah,
people
he's not
that are
there
trying to
anymore.
do it. It'll never change. You know what I'm saying? It'll always be that way. So
Yeah,
it's the system we're in, kind of the system.
right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's just a vicious cycle. Basically, it seems like it'll never end. But I'm just hoping that
Right.
we get this little thing right, and that we avoid any kind of real conflict, and we're able to get people out safely. That's the fucking main thing. Um, Innocent people shouldn't have to be dealing with that. If they want to go, they should be able to go.
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to ask you your stance on that, because you were talking about military family. So
Yeah, yeah.
some,
I mean,
some,
I got nothing but love for our soldiers, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we don't pay them
yeah.
enough. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they're not taken care of enough. Like,
No.
I'm with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, trust me on that. Like, much respect to our soldiers out there.
My I got I got a cousin. He's in the Air Force. Been in there like, damn. I mean, it must be 20 years now at least.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Good looks to him.
he's been all over the place, man. And well, they were gonna send him over to Germany, and he tore his ACL or some shit, and so he wasn't able to go. But I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But
Right.
he's still here and he's still hanging out and still doing what he's got to do. And
Yeah.
I always send my respects over to him. But yeah, let's kind of keep it moving. I want to pick your brain real quick about hip hop,
Yeah.
and it's on the spot, and we go over this a lot when people come on. It's like an ever changing topic too. Like some people, maybe their top fives are set in stone, right? They know. You could be like, "What's your top five?" This, and they're like this. And some
Okay.
people, your top five could be like changing. Like maybe you heard something else
Yeah.
that came out, and you're like, "Oh, this is in the top five now."
Yeah.
But with that in mind, what do you think your top five hip hop albums would ever be? And I don't ask this specific question a lot. Like I leave it open, but I want to know
Right.
what your hip hop albums are. And I know,
Of all time?
yeah, of all time. Like if they were like, look, you're gonna be locked up in this motherfucking room for the next 10 years. You only got 5 fucking albums you can take with you. Like, what are you gonna take?
Bro. I mean, right off the bat, I'm taking, and a couple of them are going to be very cliche,
Yeah,
but they just bring me to a point. They bring me to a point mentally. You know what I mean? Like Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links, one.
yep,
I mean, that's knee jerk reaction. I'm going to have that. That's cinema on wax.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would honestly say Wu-Tang Enter the 36 Chambers, their first album. Again, that's cinema on wax.
Oh yeah.
But then it gets a little murky, because I've become a real big fan of the Griselda movement.
Mm-hmm.
And any given day, I can press play and listen to any one of those Griselda artists nonstop. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk 3. That album got into my top. But then I got to go back to like Outkast, Southern Playalistic, Cadillac Music.
That's a good one.
Because again, I mean you see a theme like they those early albums played out. They played out like a movie.
Yeah.
So that's 4. Yeah, and then that 5th is like ever rotating. I can honestly tell you, like, and I don't know, like it's gonna be an East Coast artist probably, and Jada's got to be in there. I named my daughter. I named my daughter after him. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know, bro. How about I got a good one that people don't bring up a lot. That the 50 Cent's DJ Clue mixtape. His first DJ Clue mixtape.
DJ Clue was it was just amazing.
Yeah. Guess who's back? I mean that put 50 onto the scene. That changed the mixtape game. You want to talk about defining a culture, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that was him. That's not mentioned a lot, you know what I mean? But for me, that's that was a defining moment in the culture. So it's
when you had at the height of whenever he was doing that 2003, 4, 5, whatever, he fucking like you would. I remember going to the fucking mall right in Massachusetts, and they had a store where they had clothing, hip hop clothing, and hats and everything. And in there was a case, and in there was all these mixtapes from they've come up.
That's
and selling mixtapes in the fucking mall at the height of this, and it was all. When you look at the mixtapes, it was like all 50 Cent or G Unit or whatever.
Every single one. I mean, that was the heyday. That was dope. Yeah. That was the late '90s to the mid 2000s. Yep. That was a great.
Making tons of songs over industry beats, like redoing the songs. Like that was just like a common trend. You don't see that as much as back then for sure. I mean, some people do still do that.
Some of those DJs that made it back then, they've made a career out of it. You know what I mean? Since then, they don't even release mixtapes like that anymore. Like Big Mike the Ruler. He's one of the biggest radio DJs down in Connecticut, and he's one of the biggest promoters that nobody talks about in New England. So it's like, again, I got mad respect for people like that. DJ Clue. You could go on and on.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely define that part of the culture that we don't have that mixtape shit anymore, which is
and again, that's like the gift and the curse of the internet. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't need the CDs anymore, but
yeah, but we lost out a lot of creative fucking cool shit with that mixtape shit.
yeah.
Now it's like
Yep.
people are just releasing singles. Like here's a single, here's a single, here's a single.
Right. Oh yeah. No, they absolutely are. And honestly, that's why I fuck with the Griselda movement so heavy, because they curate their projects.
Mm-hmm.
All of their artists are their own entity. Everything is created. Everything is a book.
Yeah.
Each of them has their own specific movement, and a few different waves of these younger generation kids, like you said, they just keep releasing single after single after single. You know what I mean? And like, at what point are you going to give me a story? And
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at. And no
even if it's like an EP, like even if it's just 5-6 songs, something together to bring some cohesiveness, and people moving away from skits and things like that. Not necessarily like them acted out ones, but like vocal samples from movies and throwing shit in there, like just kind of building a project and not having it
like,
just be above the music. That you don't see that as often anymore. And yeah, you're right. The Griselda guys, like, they really paint a picture, like they make a movie, and then the videos they do too are dope. I'm sure you've seen those. Those are always like they prove a point. They're not just making music videos. Like some people just make a music video, but their music videos, a lot of them, there's like a message in there.
Yeah, there's some visuality. Yeah, there's some good cinema work to that. You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah.
Yeah. So 8:22. Normally, I would say my co-host would be here by now, and he's not. So I'm sad because I'm kind of moving on from the strange news. So what will happen, I guess, when he pops in, I'm just gonna kind of be like, all right, let me hear what you got for strange news. I remember he hit me up and was like, I have some shit for tonight for this strange news. But hey, oh, look at this right here. He must have heard me. Yo,
my ears were ringing.
Yeah, I knew it.
I'm back.
Right, so we were wrapping up with what I have for strange news, so I'm trying to get what your take is.
All right, let me I got a couple things here. Let me pull up the first one here.
Just made it in there. Still got your vacation hat on.
Oh yeah, All right, let's see. First one, and I'm doing a motherfucking fantasy football draft right now too, so forgive me if I'm, on my device a little bit more than usual.
Okay, multitask.
Oh,
hey, Patriots are winning though.
Oh, are they? Nice.
19-7.
I heard Matt Jones threw his first touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. All right.
He's gonna get
first
us 6
story up. Yeah, right. All right, I'm gonna start with one that's not so weird, but kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So being, a music show, you guys are familiar with Nirvana's Nevermind album cover, right?
Yeah.
The baby in the pool trying to get the dollar bill. So apparently that baby, who is now fully grown, he's a 30-year-old man at this point, is suing the band / record label for child pornography.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I found that interesting. I don't know if he has a leg to stand on, but we'll see where that lawsuit goes.
And didn't he? It was only wasn't he only asking for like 40,000, like some weird amount too?
I think it was a low amount.
It was a low amount.
Anyway.
It's probably going to get settled. It's not even going to be a thing. But I found it interesting that when I saw that headline, I was like, oh no shit.
That's weird. Just weird. Just this late on. Like why right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
Not like when he turned 18 or something. Like why now? Maybe.
And what a weird number, low. You better go. I'd rather go high.
Right.
Yeah, start high at least. I don't know. He's underselling himself a lot there.
Right.
And it's funny that you said leg to stand on. I just thought that was hilarious.
Shit. All right. Next thing I got the one of the Mars rovers. I can't remember if it's the Ingenuity one or the older one that's been on Mars. it sent back a panorama recently. So it's in this big-ass crater. And it sent a panorama shot of it going up this mountain, which is like the biggest mountain in the solar system. It's like 5 miles. Yeah, it's like 5 miles high. So there's a panorama of the rover going up this mountain out of this crater. So I thought that was pretty fucking interesting. You know, I'm a space nerd, so anything to do with space or Mars or anything like that, I'm definitely checking out.
So when they send people to Mars, you're gonna check out their reality show. Be like we'll be able to see all their cameras all the time. They have like a show like Big Brother or some shit on Mars.
Hell yeah,
motherfuckers competing for oxygen and shit.
Hell yeah, and water and shit.
How many plants they can plant and shit.
They said plant those 25 or you're dead.
In like 2010 or 2012 or some shit, they said we would be like, they would have people on Mars by like 2022 or 2024 or some shit like that.
Oh, and, yeah.
I don't see that happening yet. I was pumped for that. I was like, damn, we're going to be able to tune in and see them, like, you know, a couple times a week, what the fuck they're doing on there, trying to survive and build their cubicles or whatever. I was ready, but I'm sad now.
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting thing. But the third story I had was more of a conspiracy thing, which is kind of our jam. Are you guys familiar with Havana Syndrome?
I think I heard of it, but let's hear it.
All right, so let me pull this up so I'm not giving you guys misinformation. But apparently, Kamala Harris just went to Vietnam like a week or so ago. And some of the people that she was traveling with, some of the diplomats and some of her staff members, mysteriously became ill. And they're blaming this on Havana Syndrome, which is mysterious symptoms. And it's been affecting dozens of Americans working in embassies all over the world since 2016. Now, these symptoms are usually referred to as Havana Syndrome, but there are theories that involved targeted microwave or sonic attacks.
I've actually heard. I didn't know it was called that, though.
Yeah. So it started in Havana, Cuba in 2016, where some people became sick. And they couldn't really trace the source of, you know, how they got sick. So they've come up with this potential theory. I don't know if they have much data to kind of pinpoint, yes, this is what it is. But it is, yeah, there we go, right there. They delayed her plane for 5 hours because these people got sick mysteriously. Let me give you some more information about Havana Syndrome, though. So it's a set of medical signs and symptoms, and it's been typically reported by United States or Canadian embassy staff, and it was, you know, it started as late as 2016, back in Havana, Cuba, which is why it's called Havana Syndrome. Where are the symptoms? Let's get to the symptoms. We don't need to know the events.
Drafts. Got fantasy drafts going on.
Yeah, I'm up in 3 picks.
All right, good. You're not even on the clock yet.
Yeah. So, in 2018, this guy, Douglas H. Smith, said that microwaves were considered a main suspect underlying this phenomenon. And this other person, Beatrice Alexandra Golem, rejected the idea that a sonic attack was the source and concluded that the facts were consistent with pulsed radio frequency or microwave radiation exposure. She wrote that the nature of the noises reported by the diplomats was consistent with sounds caused by pulsed RF or microwave stuff called from the Frey effect, whatever that is. The signs and symptoms reported by the diplomats matched symptoms from that kind of exposure with sleep, cognition, vision, balance, and speech, headaches, sensations of pressure or vibration, nosebleeds, brain injury, and brain swelling. Oxidative stress provides a documented mechanism for microwave injury compatible with reported signs and symptoms. And in the past, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow was subject to a microwave attack. So
microwave's a weapon.
I think they've...
it's like sound waves.
Yeah, they've weaponized some sort of sonic frequency or microwave frequency, and by directing this weapon at certain either groups of people or individuals, they can become very ill from, the radiation basically that's being pointed at them. And I just find it interesting that it's been happening. And like I said, it's either U.S. or Canadian diplomats that have typically been the, targets of this stuff. But it's been happening in different countries all over the world. So, thoughts?
It sort of sounds like that HARP shit, in a similar way, but except they're aiming it, instead of aiming it in the atmosphere, they're aiming the shit at people, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, it could be used to control large groups of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's crazy that so unseen weaponry that's just constantly going. So what my question is this: why are we not seeing more like this? Why isn't this more widespread? They only have a certain amount of reach. They can only get wherever they're doing that from. You know what I'm saying? Like, how come we're not seeing that in pockets in the U.S. or are we? That's a bigger question.
Right.
Is this happening here? Or is it just something that
you hear that though? Same thing. People that live near towers and stuff like that, they hear that light hum. And they report being dizzy and stuff like that. Their motor skills are slurred, stuff like that. So it's wild.
So not only do we have COVID to worry about, but we got fucking microwave weapons out there that'll give you Havana Syndrome.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. That show that I usually watch, that show about Skinwalker Ranch or whatever, the Skinwalker Ranch show. They had a guy that was dealing with some sort of microwaves that they were finding on the ranch, and he was having like problems in his fucking head.
Yeah.
Swelling and shit like that. So, and he couldn't figure out where exactly this shit was coming from, So yeah, it's wild, man. Crazy shit. But yeah, while we're kind of talking unexplained phenomenon, Sean, what about you? What's your favorite like unexplained phenomenon? Like if someone had to pick your brain about whether it's aliens or Bigfoot or ghosts, or like what most intrigues you?
Probably like, again, I mean, I'm a firm believer in all that stuff, you know what I mean? But definitely probably like ghosts, like spirits, that kind of thing. And what's really dope is like people that I wouldn't expect, have given me real life experiences, you know what I mean? And they're like, straight edge dudes, like, like my stepdad gives, spits a story to me, and I'm like, God damn, there's something out there, you know what I mean? There's an afterlife of some sort, whether you're going to be connected to it or believe in it, you know what I mean? That's on you, I guess. But, I believe in that. I mean, I'm into all of that stuff, I guess. I mean, I'm not like I don't geek out on it or anything, but like I believe all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yeah, buy into it. I try to explain these fucking phenomenon like the scientific way, So I'm like try to figure that out, but I buy into it too, and I want to believe it,
Yeah.
But I'm like the type of person I just need some fucking evidence from something, and I've had some experiences, couple little weird experiences, and obviously stories that were told over the years too that were kind of crazy, and I can kind of piece that together and make a decision, but for the most part I just want to see some evidence of something. And we keep coming back to this theory, why don't we or whatever, and it's kind of there's similarities between people who see Bigfoot and they see orbs, and people see ghosts and they see orbs, and I just think that the multiverse theory is a great way to explain what these unexplained things are, how we're seeing them and how we're not able to find them. But again, I still would even need proof that there is a multiverse. Like, I need proof of all that shit. And so for me, it's like 50-50. I want to believe, but I also want to know solidly, and before I'm actually like, yeah, 100%. Like, because I haven't had myself personally like that crazy of an experience to really fucking convince me that any of that shit is true. I've seen things, and it's like, sometimes your eyes can fucking deceive you, and it happens to me all the fucking time if I'm not wearing my glasses. So like, it can happen. So that's my thing. It's like, I like that shit, and I watch all the shows. I did like my final like thesis project thing was on fucking the ancient alien theory. Like, that was like when I was in college. Like, so like, I'm totally into it. But yeah, I want some goddamn proof. I figure it's 2021. We had disclosure. They know this, they know that. We know shit now that we didn't know before, and I just feel like we should have more solid evidence that could be
like. But how wild is it that like 2021, like the world is so fucked up. The government releases it say, look, yo, there's UFOs here, and we're just like, flip the channel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I got other shit going on right now.
If it doesn't fit their agenda,
it is wild. Like, I don't know, it's not even. Yeah, I mean, it's just the world is so crazy. Nothing surprises me anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Of course, there's been shit going on. You know.
And maybe that's why we got the reaction that we did. Like, yeah, we know UFOs are here. Tell us something we don't know. There wasn't any new information in there. Like, they can't explain it. Like,
they won't tell us the origins if they know.
Or thanks for telling us, guys.
They were kind of forced into doing it by the law. It was kind of snuck in there that they passed or whatever to disclose the information on those specific events. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really say they had to tell us everything. They just said, explain these events that have been made public and so on and so forth. And then let us know what you have for reports. And they're like, oh yeah, we can do that. They put together a little mini project, and they're like, this was it. Ha! Are you satisfied? And people are like, yeah, we waited a long time for that, but I guess that's all they know. A lot of people just do that. And some people are like, it's kind of weird. That's it. Like, but yeah, I mean, maybe down the road, if you think about it, if they fucking tell everybody that there's fucking aliens, it just blows a lot of people's whole perspectives like out of the water. If they're like, look, we can confirm for sure there's aliens everywhere, and then people, all the super religious people, are looking around like, well, what the fuck do you mean? Like, I don't get it, and then it's just like a whole world of a lot of people could come crumbling down, and things would be like instantly changed. And I think, you can't really fully disclose shit until. Not saying I'm like pressuring people to move away from religion at all, but I'm just saying if that's going to be the basis that holds up society, then you can't really just take the fucking legs out of it. You got to kind of ease into it, and people are moving away from religion. If you look at the studies, and maybe eventually they'll be able to disclose it. People will just, like you said, when they actually confirm it, they're like, look, here's one. He fucking speaks 78 languages. Like, he's going to fucking, they're like, damn, but I think by that time, they'll just be like, and like, we are, like you said, we already.
I think that movie Men in Black is more realistic than we ever imagined.
Oh yeah, definitely. Probably is. They're hanging out with them. Whatever. Like, most likely they've definitely at least somewhere along the line met with them if they're really, some of these stories are true, and people tend to believe some of these fucking stories about Area 51 and everything. If they're in Groom Lake or whatever, if those stories are true, then definitely they have got to disclose it, but I just don't think people are ready.
Well, the thing about that report is they took 144 cases from 2004 to the present day. Mm-hmm. And those cases had multi-sensor information, and it was only from government agencies. So they had, visual evidence, they had radar, they had audio evidence, they had something else, all these different pieces of information. So they could say, this was a true case. We have all this information, but we still have no idea where it came from, or what it even is.
Yeah.
So they're not taking into the account any of those experiences we've heard about pre-2004.
Yeah, and or any that the military wasn't really directly involved with. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it does leave a lot out. but like they said in that report, it would be hard for them to investigate all these other cases that they weren't really involved with.
Right.
But still, I mean, yeah, like I said, we weren't ready. Like if they were to drop that fucking bomb right now, guaranteed that wouldn't go over well. It just wouldn't. Some people just wouldn't be able to comprehend, and maybe they wouldn't believe, which would be crazy if we had actual physical evidence. But I'm sure that would be the case for a lot of people, religious people. Very, some people are very into it. Some people are like half in, half out. But the very devout people, very religious people, would have a very hard time with that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
As they do with everything.
Right. But yeah, let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, I did do a top 5 right before you got here. I was trying to kill time with the stories we did. Top 5 albums, but I also wanted to ask what your top 5 artists was. And I want to leave this one open. I just want to leave this one open, though. At the last one, I said, what was your top 5 hip-hop albums? But I want to leave this artist one open, as I do for everybody. And it could be, artist doesn't have to mean like a rapper or even a musician. It could be a fucking painter or an author of a book or something. Just 5 of your top 5 artists, that you'd have to have in your top 5.
Right. I mean, we've already talked about them a little bit, as far as what they're doing for the culture and curating their movement, like West Side Gun, Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher. I mean, that whole movement, we haven't seen anything like that since Wu-Tang.
Yep.
It's different. It's a breath of fresh air for the culture. I'll tell you who I listen to heavy right now. And he's, again, you can consider him hip hop. He's more pop right now, but the Kid Laroi. Every song this kid puts out is an absolute banger. Every project he puts out is on repeat. Yeah. He's making music. He's writing music. I mean, every pop act right now. You look in who's writing the songs. It's the Kid Laroi. The kid's 18 years old. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's mind blowing. Yeah, and again, I mean, I like I said, I listen to a lot of the new waves too. I listen to, I mess with Lil Uzi Vert and the Bellies and the Navs and, being involved with radio. I've been able to keep my ass, that aspect a little bit, in depth. But I still listen to my hip hop guys and my old school hip hop guys like Raekwon. Yeah. He's always on repeat. Ghostface. Still 50. But I mean, as far as some other stuff, I mean, I'm definitely into art. Hebrew Brantley is really dope. If you get a chance to check him out, he's from Chicago. He's really, really next level. Timmy Sneaks, he's an artist from Boston. He's really dope. I mean, he's done painting for like Rick Ross, my boy Jeff London. I don't know if you know him down there, but he's got this mural in his living room that's like mind blowing, just next level. So I'm definitely into art. Like art's something that's one of my quiet passions. But then I'm definitely into fashion right now, so I'm definitely following a lot of designers. Todd Snyder's dope. He's one of the godfathers of the modern streetwear culture, and he's working with LL Bean, dropping lines now like LL Bean and Champion. It's really, really dope.
Oh yeah.
So again, I mean, I'm kind of, I read a lot, but I mean, I'm real. It's still hip hop for me, bro.
Right. Right. So you mentioned fashion in there too. It's a good time to kind of segue into that. You're kind of what are you doing here with this Vintage Hustle? That's the brand, right? Vintage Hustle.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us more about that?
So I mean, back in like 2012, I kind of started diving into more curated streetwear fashion outside of like the Rockawares and the Nietzsche's back in the day. More to like smaller run, couture artist, and at that point, it was still something relatively new to me, and I had thought of the name because I started seeing these designs, and I was like, and I started sketching some things, and this is, like I said, this is 9 years ago, and I just had this vision of Vintage Hustle, old school spirit, you know what I mean, like with a new flow, you know what I mean, and that's kind of what my approach is with Vintage Hustle. It's very hip hop oriented. It's curated in Maine. All the designs are done by me. They start out as sketches and stick figure designs because I have no artistic abilities. But, and then I plug in with some, I work with different artists, and I've had some good success, and it kind of started when COVID hit. I was, when we were put in lockdown, when up in here, we were we're put in lockdown,
Yeah.
So I started drawing, and I was like, this stuff's kind of good, and that was me saying that. That was I was showed a few friends like, do something with this. So I rolled out some T-shirts. I started out real small, and the reception's been very, very good. I just got back from the West Coast, took some good meetings out there, spoke with some designers out there. We're going to be doing some collabs. I'm going to be in some stores. I've got some contracts signed to some stores, so I'm designing stuff for stores specifically. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's, you should always have a hobby that you can try to make some money on. And I guess that's kind of how it started. It started as a hobby. And now it's not even about making money still, it's just about getting my product in the hands of influencers, and it's been very well received. It's been well received. I was down in Texas, I was up in Seattle, I was out in LA very recently, and everywhere I went, I had product on me, and I was meeting people and putting it out there, and it was very, very well received by people of all ages, and that's kind of the goal. I just want it to be fun. I'm not trying to take it too serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was seeing some of the designs. I was seeing you got those, like, what are those basketball shorts that have the vintage? Those are dope.
Yeah.
Oh, those are dope. You had a hat that came out that I missed the boat on. That was like one of the hats you had dropped before. That's what I like about it in a way. It's kind of like when you do like the limited drops and all that other stuff. And you do like the limited run, it kind of pushes it a little bit more. You went to business school, but it's like when you do those limited drops, it kind of makes everybody be like, "Damn, I gotta get it, and I gotta get it now." Kind of mentality.
And it's different too, because with the limited, the limited drops, it's like I don't want everybody to have it. You know what I mean? Like if people really rock with it, they're gonna get it. And it's like that's why I took the website down. I did the selling. I sold 100 T-shirts. I sold 50 plus on my first short run last summer. You know what I mean? And it was like, okay, that's fun, but I wasn't really happy with the designs. I wasn't really happy with the end product. So I went to back to the drawing board. So I went to the people that were designing the twill. I went right to the plug. I was working front end to back end. I helped design everything. Every stitch on there was designed by me. And that's
I saw that
dope.
You have like the stitching isn't in your typical places that you can just get off Spreadshirt. It's actually curated to like how you want it. You got your stitching on like the sleeves and and it's like exactly what you want, which is good. And you went to the source, which is what you have to do sometimes, man.
Yeah, no, it's fun. And like I said, I'm gonna keep growing that. That's something that I'm having a lot of fun with, and it's a good release for me. It's something, I've had to make a lot of life changes recently, like everybody, with Corona, you know what I mean? And it's something that's been a great release for me, so yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, for sure. Why don't we talk a little bit, because we had, it was a little while back now, but we had Ryan Delon on here.
It's my guy.
So yeah, why don't we talk a little bit about your involvement with Hot Radio Maine and kind of what you do for them and have done and future plans and all that good shit? Because it's a good topic to talk about.
That's the gang there. When they started the rollout in Bangor, they approached me, basically a couple months before, and said, "This is what's going on." I had no idea what was going on. They showed up, and we went out for a meeting, and they're like, "This is happening." I was like, "Okay, let's rock." And they're like, basically, they just wanted me to be some feet, some boots on the ground for them, and have kind of a local aspect to it. And I was, they call me the brand ambassador. I was the first brand ambassador for the station. Something that I had a lot of fun with. I did some work with them during election season. I was at like the polling locations. We had a great, we had a nice little 6-7 month run. We, me and DJ Too Fat, we had a show. Hot Mix Nights, which, we're not doing anymore, but, that's okay. So we're going to find some other things to stay involved. We got shows coming up in the future. We'll have some, some promotions and stuff like that. I'm still doing some things as far as on the marketing end of things up here for them in Bangor. Just being what I can, you know what I mean? Like whatever, whatever they need me to do, like just trying to help them out and have a presence for them up here.
Yeah, that's dope. Speaking of Hot Radio Maine, we got a fucking show that we just announced. That's going to be September 20th at the Pilots Cove, or the Runaway at Pilots Cove in Sanford, where doing some DJing over there. He kind of was the one who recommended it to me. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean,
we're gonna get something going in Bangor. It's just a matter of the venues. They're
Right.
so limited up here in Bangor now. They're booked out, you
Yeah.
know, and it probably before COVID there was probably a dozen venues that you could probably get at.
Yeah.
There's probably 2 or 3 right now up here. I mean, they're all closed. They're not doing live events
Yeah.
right now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They've had to change their business approach. So, but you know,
and with winter
me,
coming, you got to move stuff inside, which makes it more difficult too.
Exactly.
Like summertime, you can be outside, and that's a lot easier. So we already know like shows are going to be a little slimmer through the winter, but I know eventually, you know, we'll get something out there that we'll do. And
hell yeah.
sure,
I mean, I'm talking to artists. I mean, I'm talking to management. You know, they're trying to get up here. You know, like
because I know that
the acts want to get out here.
We're eventually going to have Orono. We're going to have UMaine Orono. Like, it won't be long. They're telling me that we might miss our September date deadline, which was that weekend, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever. And but they're saying, hey, October might be good, and October onward, meaning October, November, December, all the way through to May. And I know they have a reduced like student body on campus this year, which isn't what their normal was, something like 10,000 fucking kids or some ridiculous number. But I know it's down from that, but it's still a lot of people. Yeah. And so I know that'll happen. And when and if that does, I want you to be involved with that also, obviously, because Orono's Bangor, basically, you know. So
yeah, of course.
And so we're going to do that. So if anything, you know what I'm saying, we're going to play it by ear. But if anything, we bounce that off each other, whatever. So if something doesn't happen right now, we just do that in Orono.
It's for the culture. You know what I mean? Like that whole bars over bars. You know what I mean? Like, dog, that's for the culture, dog. You know what I mean? Whatever you need.
Yep. And but so shout out that show on the 20th. Got Acrobatic as a headliner, which is gonna be dope. We got some really good local talent and talent from all over New England coming up for that.
Yep. That'll be dope.
It's gonna be cool, and it's gonna be advertised on Hot Radio Maine. So that's something else I was just wanted to point out. I had talked to them over there about that, and that's cool. They you know, some things like that you got to fucking promote like that. You can't just throw a show with fucking Acrobatic and not promote it. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes. So I was very surprised actually when I reached out to them about how much it costs to get ads going. It isn't as much as some people would think.
I'll tell you right now, bro. I mean, they put on for the culture out here too, bro. I mean, they want everybody to win, you know, and that's kind of what it is. You know, that's what, you know, it's such, you know, the scene out here has always been so small. You know, that crab in a bucket mentality. You know, it's something that. They don't know anything about that. I've got away from that. I'm very supportive of everybody in the culture out here. You know, even if I don't work with somebody that I worked with in the past, it's always going to be love. You know what I mean? We'll get it. You know, much love, much power.
Hip hop culture has changed, and it's not like it was in the early 2000s. It's very different. You have to be accepting. You have to provide constructive criticism, and you have to
it's all love out here now. You know, like I said, I mean it. You know, there's no room for beef out here anymore. You know, in the music industry, in the music scene out here, I should say, for the limited what we call a music scene out here. You know, and, you know. With that said, I think kids have got a lot more opportunity than they did, than they ever have because of a Hot Radio Maine. You know, one thing that I really do miss, from the radio show that we did is we had the local feature. You know, so for a good 6-7 month run, like I had a good, we had a flood of local tracks. Right. You'd be amazed of the talent in Maine right now. Like you'd be amazed, from the R&B to hip hop, to everything in between, all urban music. It's
for sure.
That right now.
That sucks that they won't allow. I think what was it? Ryan told me something that if the show was 2 hours long, you could do some local music, but if it's not, you can't do it. That's basically how he landed. I was like, I don't understand that. I get like they're trying to meet their certain quotas during that hour or whatever that they're doing. Right. To me, it was just like, damn.
There's a formula, and again, I mean, they've got a formula down. Like, they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? But no, they gave us a great opportunity. They gave us a great opportunity. They gave some local kids a really great opportunity with being able to highlight it themselves on those tracks or those shows. So it's fun. Like I said, I mean, you would be amazed. I don't even know if you hear some of these kids right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I hear some of them. JR Specs and like there's some other kids that are like just. I mean, they're different than your typical what you would think old school. You know what I mean? But it's all
it's a new wave, and
good.
these kids.
It's all
And you
about
want to
the
talk
music
about
that they're
movements,
putting out. That's it.
and,
Like they're
and they
putting
all
out
got a
good
movement.
content.
Which is dope. They've used
Yeah.
they do a show. They're pulling up with their own team.
Yep.
And it's wild to watch these kids move now. It's different.
Yeah, it is. And but in hip hop being now is so much more accepted than it was in 2003, 4, 5. Like, we try to throw it, like, put it this way: you go now, and we're at bars over bars. We're throwing shows at fucking thrift shops, little
Yep.
shoe stores, fucking. I mean, anywhere and everywhere you could think of, you wouldn't typically think a show would be. We're throwing it there, and people
Yep.
are like fucking showing up for it, and they're accepting of it. And like, I'm doing a show up in Prescott outside at the park. I mean,
That's fun.
hip hop show. Like, I mean, that's an area too where you wouldn't typically think that it'd be accepting. I hit up the Parks and Rec, and they're just like, yes, let's do it. Like, so, but in
That's dope,
2003,
bro.
4, that wasn't happening.
No, dog.
Not at all.
I used to have to dress up. They used to send me into all these venues. I dressed up, and I'd
You're the
walk
businessman. Go in there with your tie and everything.
Yeah, y'all would. I'd have the whole khaki suit on, everything, like just trying to get a hip hop show going.
Exactly.
I'd come out, take the tie off, and light up a blunt. We got it. You know what I mean?
And now it's like you walk in there like dressed
trip,
however, and they're just like they take you seriously no matter what, because hip hop isn't really hip hop anymore. It's fucking pop music,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that's exactly.
These kids come out and they're spending money.
Yep. All right, so we got we just did that top 5 shit. So we've been talking about your music and design kind of hobbies and stuff like that. But what other kinds of things are you doing that's like not related to that? Like you're into sports, video games, fucking shopping. You said you're a little bit into art, which would be on the list. But what do you kind of do that's not really related to when you're hustling all this other shit? Like, and you're trying to just chill and like get away from that shit.
I like to travel. I mean, that's probably my number one thing. I travel a lot. I try to be on the road at least once a month.
Same.
I can't sit still. You know what I mean? I see you out there moving too. Like I can't sit still.
I can't. I gotta move. COVID was shitty, man. Having to stick around for so long.
Yeah. But it was a good opportunity to do some introspection as well. In the same token. So I mean, I exercise a lot. I actually run. I run every day. And that's probably like the one thing I do that if I don't do, I can feel a little something's off.
Do you now when you run? Do you prefer to run? Do you run outside, inside? Like I know
outside.
Winter outside. Yeah.
I run year round. Yep. I'm that awkward dude wearing the long sleeve, those long skinny things.
Yeah,
in the middle of the winter
and running in the slush.
The guy that you're like swearing at, like, what? Look at this motherfucker. That's me now.
That's me now. Yeah, man. Some people are real sticklers. Like my dad was the same way. He didn't want to be on a treadmill. He had one in the house and never fucking used it. But
no, that's miserable.
I don't run like that because I mean I just can't even picture myself doing that. There'll be times where I'll be walking with my dogs or something outside, and I'll have little bursts here, and then I'm like, all right, that's enough for this month, But I am trying to be more conscious of like, getting out. I used to just like let the dogs out to walk around in the yard and hang out, and now it's like I bring them places and walk with a purpose, and I do it like twice a day, and like I try to be a little bit better with that shit. But I mean, we're all human, and it's been a pandemic for a long time, so it feels like a long time. I know it's been like 2 years, but it feels like 10.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last time I seen you run obese was that one night back fucking 20 years ago.
Uh-oh.
I won't get into the details.
I used to run when we played ball, though.
Oh yeah, we played ball a lot, and you were in a great shape back then too. Like we would ball all day, full court, up and down all day long.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. I was doing that for a while, and then it was like I just gave up on it. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking turn to this music shit.
Yeah, life catches up to you.
Sitting all day trying to fucking make beats, and that was my whole life for a long, long time, and I didn't think of anything else. And then you start getting unhealthy, and you're like, all right, now what?
Yeah,
can't turn back the hands now, but try to do different shit. But yeah, I mean, we played a lot of ball, ran around then, and yeah, that night, That night was a fun night, man. Old Orchard Police couldn't get us.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Not a chance.
Jump over the fences. We had the camera going. That was a funny ass night, man. You know, it's so funny that this long ago when we talk about it, but
right.
Being dumbass fucking kids, man.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that fucking story came up because we could tell Sean a little bit more about it. It was the night that Aaliyah died.
Oh man!
So we remember it because we got back to the crib. We turned on the motherfucking TV and it was like MTV News or some shit when they were still doing that.
I saw that.
And we're like, no fucking way, her plane crashed. We're like, oh my fucking god.
Bro, we've been drinking all fucking day and too. That's the thing.
And we went wild. We're like banging on doors and shit, waking everybody up. Like they thought the cops were finally fucking catching up to us.
Oh, man.
And we're like, yo,
the kids
Aaliyah died.
Matt Steller. It was Matt Steller's house, and he was in his bedroom asleep. And remember pounding on his fucking door, saying Aaliyah died, and him answering the door finally after pounding, like, what do you want? We're like, dude, Aaliyah. He just comes to the door and he's like, I don't give a fuck. And just
go to sleep.
Go to bed.
That one hurt.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, okay, well, nobody cares. But we remember because of that. It was a fucking great night. I mean, we were just drinking all
minus Aaliyah dying, it was a great night.
Right.
But, you know, being out in the streets, we took the motherfucker's trophies into the street. He had a bunch of football trophies. This kid, we were at his house, and we just took the trophies into the street. Cars are passing by. And I was like, we were like, I was still in high school, bro. I probably like senior year or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe senior year. So things change over the fucking years, you know. And then you have kids, and you think back like, damn, I hope my kids don't fucking do that same shit that I was doing.
Well, if they do, it's going to be all fucking on their phones. It's all going to be documented. Our shit, I mean, I got an old-ass camera, and we did catch some footage, but, like, that shit, that would have been all phone. That would have been on fucking
It would have been, like, live on IG or something, us running around.
Yep.
Would have been totally different.
We totally would have got caught that night if that shit went out.
Oh, yeah. They didn't know what fucking location at. But yeah, I mean, things have changed. Everything gets different and all fucking weird, and you start getting fucking older, and you're like, damn, where did the years go?
Right.
Yeah, my daughter's 19, and she's moved out, so I'm an empty nester now.
Damn, that was quick,
right?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, you know, the kids these days, I mean, that's cool, man. That's great. Is she going to school, or is she just like out?
She's supposed to be in school tomorrow. We'll see. She's doing her own thing now.
That's cool, man. You know, because a lot of times the kids don't get out like they used to. You know, they just hang out.
No, I'm proud of her.
To like 25, 30. You know.
No, she's a real good kid, so I'm proud of her regardless. She's out doing her own thing now. She's too cool for dad.
Look, fun.
How many you got?
I got two daughters with me, man.
Yeah. I got two boys.
Yeah.
Mine are a little older than his, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's a crazy journey, fucking life. But yeah, I definitely remember more than a few shows, especially at Ushuaia's, dude. I remember Bad Manners and Pav and a bunch of people that come up my ass to do shows up there. I think there was like 4 specifically that I remember, you know what I'm saying? Like being there for and kind of like, I don't know what my position was other than to just kind of drive the van and just play the background and make beats. But I remember it, man. And it's definitely plays a part in many of my stories. When I was on podcasts, I talked about stories about touring around with Pav and them, not only up there, but down in Mass, doing Middle East, and learning a lot being a fucking 18-year-old kid back then, you know, learning a lot from hands-on shit that I would have never, if I didn't link up with them, I would have never got to do, like being in the studio, working Pro Tools, you know, doing the tour thing and being in clubs that I wasn't even 21 yet, you know, like all that shit I got to do. And at the time, you just look at it as like, it's whatever, you know, but when you look back at it, it kind of just builds your experience up. And I got to do a lot of shit that other people at my age weren't really doing, you know, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, we had a lot of fun with Pav. Pav's a good dude. I still chat with Pav every now and then.
Oh yeah, he still messages me too. He's getting crazier with his old age, I think. Yeah, he's
crazier and acting younger though.
Right. Yeah, he's got like 10 rings on his fingers and
Oh
shit.
yeah.
He's always like,
I was supposed to link with him out in Cali, but yeah, you know how that goes.
Yeah, you take 6 days to get there in the traffic, probably.
Bro, you go just to go 30 minutes away. You look and it's like, oh, it's 7 miles away. Bro, that's a whole day trip.
Yeah, that's a day trip. You could have a cooler with you.
My God.
Yeah, it's tough to drive around out there, but yeah, shout out to him and shout out to Bad Manners, one of my favorite fucking MCs from Maine that kind of just never really materialized in anything, but just was always fucking dope and on point with absolutely everything he ever did. Really,
Manners was a beast back in the day. I don't care what anybody says.
And I wish that we had more of his catalog that was like out and about that we could listen to. You know, all I got like YouTube. They got enough on YouTube, but that's like one little piece of it.
You remember the Blue album?
The Blue Collar album, yeah. I produced like six or seven of those fucking beats.
Yes, you did. We helped produce that fucking album, dog.
Right.
That shit's classic.
Yeah, you had King Blaze was on there and a couple other people, right, from up in Bangor too. Yeah,
Boss was on that.
Yeah, Boss.
Yeah, it was the Crown Jewels. You know what I mean? That was the first hip hop group out here. You know, classic.
That was a great. Guys, that was a great project. I love that song he did where he imitated the other rappers he did the voices of the other rappers. DMX, he did Eminem, he did like some other people. Yeah, that was pretty funny. He always had clever things when he was making music.
Like we recorded that in such like an old school way too. You know what I mean? Like every place that we recorded, he recorded that in like 2 or 3 locations, and it was
basement in Yarmouth with the apartment, Chip's apartment in the basement.
Yeah. I mean, and he recorded some stuff in my apartment up in Bangor at the time too.
Yeah, and Warren Ave, I think, was another location on Warren Ave. That place with the spiral staircase.
And dog, like that whole project though, we brought the entire state of Maine together.
Right.
You know, that was that was a classic moment.
That's what he wanted to do too, because there was so much division. Everybody was like hating on him because he got a deal and no one else did, or whatever the hate was coming from. It was kind of unfounded, but understandable at the same time, you know. And then that was the whole thing when he linked up with me. And Chip and him were really looking for a way to how can we fucking stop people from being like that? And I said, you got to work with them. I think you got to work with them. That's the way you fucking squash it, right? Reach out to these people that are here in this state and work with them and stop worrying about Graph and everybody else. Like, they're dope. You know what I mean? It's dope to have Alchemist produce beats and shit, but here, I got beats and Self-Taught's got beats and there's other producers and blah, blah, blah. That's what I said. You got to work with people. That'd be how you could do it. And that's what they did. And that album was pretty dope, but he had a few along the way. I just wish, like I said, we would have heard more from Bad Manners, like a whole project from him that was solid. I just wish we would have had that. We never had that, and kind of sucks.
Yeah, that was a different time though. It took so much. It took so much to put out a project back then.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's mind blowing to me. Like we know the project these kids put out now. You know, with and it's bang bang. You know,
they can literally go.
It's bang bang, but they doing a lot of work. You know, still just the same. But it's like that finished project's easy to put out.
Nowadays, you literally could record that shit like in your room, master it yourself, or put it or drag it onto a website and have it mastered for you, and then put it to distribution and have it out in a week.
Yep.
Which is wild. Back in the day, fuck man, you work for 6 fucking months to put an album together, and then you got to pay money to press it, and then you got to hand deliver it to the bull mooses that you want to put it in.
Oh yeah.
And nowadays, you just snap it up, boom, there it goes. You know what I mean? But I feel like the having to kind of slim down that whole process of putting that record together and how you're going to get it out kind of gave more time, because that's more slimline now, gave more time to be more creative with things. And you notice, I notice a lot of people these days being way more creative for like album covers. To get they're commissioning people to like paint them pieces of art for album covers, and just doing a lot more creative things all around, and not just focusing on music, and getting more creative with the music. And I know Kanye's album just fucking dropped it. I was disappointed with that. I just want to say, I don't know what the fuck was going on there. I didn't feel like it was I just didn't feel like it was anything really. I was like, "What?" So
here's my thing with Kanye right now. Like, the hype train is so fast and so big. I gotta let everything decompress for a day or two before I get in on it. You know what I mean? And then I'll take a chance on it. But I've been disappointed in a few of his last projects, and it's not because I have such a high Kanye standard. I just don't know what he's rapping about anymore.
I know. I said,
yeah.
Somebody posted
I don't get it. Like, I don't get
in the group chat today. Someone posted the album, and like, he was like, "Yo, is this album any good?" He posted in the thing, in the group chat, and I was just like, "It sounds like someone with fucking like mental health issues that's off their meds is what it sounds like to me. They're fucking everywhere. The production is, I don't know, it's lackluster. I mean, it's lacking a lot of like depth, and like I'm just like, where is everything? There's like some songs are like he's rapping, some he's singing with auto tune. It's like he's all over the place, and I think that really just it comes down to like his mental fucking health. Really,
I hope I like it. I hope I do. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna hate him, like, because the whole rollout in itself was art. From him sleeping in the locker room of the Atlanta Dome. You know what I mean? To the Donda party in Chicago, where he comes out, he's got Marilyn Manson and the baby with him, two of the most hated people in culture right now, regardless of rock and roll, hip hop, and Kanye's out there with his mask on. That's a flex. I don't care what anybody says.
And they put out the numbers from what he did. It was like $5 million from the listening party alone, and like selling out the fucking stadiums, and like $330,000 on merchandise, and like all this money he generated. And I think he did this because he knows the album is just trash. It's like, I gotta do all this shit, and then I'm gonna release it after. I'm gonna do a little listening party, little snippets, and I'm gonna do my performances on acapella and do with all this crazy shit. And you put the album out, people are gonna be like, "This is."
So I hope it's dope. I mean, he's got West Side and Conway on it. He's got Cudi. He's got Ty Dolla. He's got his normal cast of characters. I hope it's good.
Man, just take your time when you listen to it. Really analyze it, because like I said, I put that on with the hopes that I was gonna get a classic fucking album like everybody's been talking about, but I haven't really heard anything from Kanye in a while that I was really like, oh, okay, like College Dropout was the pinnacle for Kanye,
right.
Late Registration, also a pretty dope album as well. But once you get past those two albums, it starts to get a little murky. I mean, Late Orchestration was okay, nowhere near any of the first two either. And then after that, it was like Watch the Throne with Jay-Z was a pretty decent one.
Yeah.
But Jay-Z helped carry that one, and after that, I don't know. The beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy one, that was another one where I was like, oh, at least the beats on there though were really dope. That's the difference, I think, between Donda.
He lost me with a few of those projects, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But he's an artist, as he claims. Like he's like one of those types is like very he's a full-time, like that's his whole persona. It's just an artist of all types. Yeah. He's not just a musician. He's like the greatest rapper of all time, the greatest producer. Like he probably fucking paints pictures of himself and whatever else he does, Like he's just like is that kind of person. So no matter what, he's fully bought in all the time, which is what you got to do. But I mean, he's fully bought in all the time, and he's say I'm not on my okay.
Anything he does is going to be iconic in the true iconic word. I mean, that picture of the room that he was staying in the Georgia Dome with the clock counting down, that's forever going to be etched in hip hop's memory. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what Kanye's always going to bring to the table. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I mean, I miss the old Kanye too.
Yeah, the old Kanye was dope, man. I just wonder, if he'll ever kind of return to that and be like, you know what, fuck all the bullshit. Let's make another kind of boom bap-ish like style for classic fucking album like that.
He's too far into that artist mentality, right. And the mental health is not helping him.
Right. Yeah.
But he's way off on that artist trajectory, and I don't think he's ever coming back to what he could have been.
But this is
pictures right there. And then that other one, the other one right next to it. The just the bed. It's just the bed.
That second one.
The other one. There's another one. That one. That's the first one. That's the first picture he posted of that room, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
It's just wild that he would stick himself in a tiny ass room with absolutely nothing like that for that long. And like, are you for real?
He was renting out.
You have mental health issues. Just look at this. You want to put yourself in a jail cell. Like, It makes no sense. Like, what's going on here? And then he dresses like this. Come on, bro. Hey,
And again,
now I know. I
I'm not
get
gonna
the connection. He got those boots from Marilyn Manson, bro. He was
I'm
waiting.
not
Like,
knocking
he was like,
anybody's
yo, let me
fashion
get
these
those
days,
boots. That's why I need you to come to the arena. I need your boots. Oh, man. Yo, come to the arena. Bring your boots. Be like, what?
Yeah, and then
Then he
he's like,
gets there.
"Hey,
He's
you're
like,
gonna
take
walk
your
out
boots
this
off.
door. We're gonna walk out this door." And then
Yeah. And he's like, comes into the room. Marilyn Manson walks in a little room, and he's like, "Yo, take your boots off." And he takes them off, and he kind of just goes over and puts them on. He's like, "All right." He's like, "You can go now." Like, what the fuck?
that's wild though.
I just remember the Kanye, the fish sticks shit from South Park. That was always fucking hilarious to me. No, so you're a gay fish? What? Like, and he just like never got it. I think that episode was fucking hilarious because he'd been acting wild since you think about it. That was a long time ago. He was always acting eccentric and wild, even back then. Like I'm a fucking motherfucking lyrical genius and all that other shit. So we kind of missed the smoke break in a way, but it's like I'm not even going out right now for that. But let's shout out. Let's fucking shout out Fire on 4 either way. And if you if you got some fucking weed, light it up, smoke it up, man. I know Lucifer might be still in the chat. You know, he probably gonna be smoking up Lucifer. So yeah, it's take a little smoke break right now. We're gonna keep it moving though with some stuff like we normally do right now. I know Sean doesn't really have. So yo, do you have any artists out there locally that are like currently putting music out that you fuck with that you know that you might want to
Definitely.
like you might want to like shout out or play something of theirs on this show? Because like I'm down to do that if you got someone in mind.
I mean, there's a few local cats out here right now, bro. Like I said, I mess with them heavy. There's a kid out here. His name's Steph. Kid out here. His name's Fazo.
Yeah.
Grizzle the God, Joey Jet. Like, there's some kids out here, bro. And like, the songs are good. The production's tight. They've got some good management behind them. Like, they've got some good direction. Yeah, I mean, like I said, these dudes are nice.
Grizzle the God.
Yeah, you could check out some Grizzle. Check out my guy Fazo, Fazo. Steph, the $ TEF. Yeah, Fazo goes hard.
Young Fazo.
I don't know if it's Young Fazo. No, different one.
Are these all guys from up your way in Bangor?
Yeah, they're all from the Bangor area. And like I said, I mean, they're not that boom bap type of hip hop whatsoever. Like, these guys are, they're on the new wave. You're gonna hear some auto tune. You're gonna hear some R&B vibe to it.
Yeah. That's what's up. Are you Justin? Are you looking right now? I don't know if you were looking to try to find some of these motherfuckers.
No, I'll see what I can find.
Because
check out Joey Jet. Joey Jet's dope. But yeah, I mean, there's a good movement up there, man.
Joey Jet.
That's a good thing again. That having a Hot Radio Maine, that has a scene out here, kind of gives these kids that motivation that, hey, that is attainable. And there was a time, like we talk about back in the early 2000s, when we were trying to do hip hop. They were still cutting out the rap verses from songs on pop radio out here. And it's a different vibe out here. Now it's like any other place. You can put music out. There's kids from Herman and Hamden and Bucksport and all these small towns.
So Joey Jet, I think I might have found it. This is edited by Cam, song called Blimp.
Yeah, that's one of his tracks.
That's one of his. All right, so I got that one over here.
Yeah, I got Steph's SoundCloud here.
Yeah, So Steph, dope. So it's funny. So here's a funny story connection with Steph. And this was before you got on. My guy Ryan asked me how I got involved in hip hop. And I told him I was on a military base. And my best friend at the time's little brother was playing a VHS tape of Public Enemy. And his name was Adrian Simmons. And he was like my first best friend. So this kid's named Stephen Simmons. Small world. Adrian's his fucking cousin.
No way. Holy shit.
Or his uncle or some shit. I posted a picture with Steph. My guy Adrian messages me saying, "Bro, that's my cousin." And the kid's dope. Yeah, he's dope.
Small world.
So yo, I got Grizzle the God song up here, Better, featuring Gordo.
That's a dope song. Drop that one.
All right, so
that's a fun song. That was the song they dropped that last summer. They had a nice little run on the radio.
I'm gonna pull it up on the tab right now and share the screen right quick. See if we can play it here. Always like to play local music when I'm on here, and usually an artist obviously brings their own shit, but this is good to tap in and see some of the local talent up in eastern Maine or whatever, where hopefully I'm going to be doing a lot more fucking shows up that way, so it'd be good to tap artists and shit like that and see what they're trying to bring. But yeah, it looks like we got it to go here. Grizzle the God, Better, featuring Gordo. I love watching other people's visuals too, and I love watching. It's like one of my favorite things to do, watch music videos. So let's go. Let's see what it's about.
Let's fuck out here. Where we at right now, man? Man, I don't even know, bro. This shit is just out the way. Nobody's around, and looks like a good spot. You feel me?
We almost out of fun. I need to.
I'm tired of not working, bro. Nobody be listening to the music we putting out right now, bro.
I know. I'm trying to fill my pockets, man. I just rolled up the last weed that we have.
You got a lighter?
Niggas be smoking roaches, man. I know this was just a little bit that I had left.
It's gotta be better than this, man.
It could be better, bro. It could be better.
Look at the sea, baby, don't that just sound lovely? Right now, know that we finna go out, go downtown, we might catch a show now. White girls brown like it's finna snow out, like Johnny Depp and Blow finna blow loud. I'm getting money with Betterment now. I earn my stripes, got my letterman now. I move like a rook, I'm a veteran now. My pocket's so fat, got my cheddar in pounds. Get on the stage like rock and roll crowds. It couldn't be better, it could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. It don't gotta be like it used to be. It could be better. It gotta be just like it used to be. It could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. It could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. Just like it used to be. It don't gotta be like it used to be. Grab the DeLorean, that's what we choosing. We keep it moving, the movement improving. Move slow like we're students. We're doing too much, I know it's important. Get swapped in your whole man, it gon' be the shortage. And it could be better. When you ride away, don't force it. Torches on pages, they gas, we amazing. Time to take charge, I might catch me a flagrant. Doctor the blunt like a medical patient. Never look back at the past, gotta face it. Life, it gets better, respond, gotta play it. Thoughts on your mind, they can't read it, just say it. Heart tells me I should keep pushing, keep praying. You'll get your change for your pain, so you paying. Paranoid about the future, but I don't think about the past. I audition for this role. How I'ma quit when they cast and smoke out this planet. No, they never match it. Moving inside on this turn, let me pass them. Everyone hold up, it's getting dramatic. It could be better, but couldn't we add it? It don't gotta be just like it used to be. It could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. It could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. Just like it used to be. It don't gotta be like it used to be. It could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. It could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. It could be better. It don't gotta be just like it used to be. Just like it used to be. It don't gotta be like it used to be.
Okay.
I mean, so you could tell like that's nothing forced. You know what I mean? Like these kids, they got some talents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're letting it flow out naturally. Yeah. Where the fuck they shoot that at?
So again, I want to say that's locally. I mean, it looks like somewhere in Maine, but again, they're all from up here. Like the Grizzle the Gods actually.
I need to get to that spot.
Grizzle's from Bucksport, and then those other two kids are from Bangor. You know what I mean? That's Gordo's from Bangor, and Gordo's a dude that's kind of behind the scenes up here now. He's kind of directing these kids. He's got a label that he started, and he's into it. Like, he's got visions. He's putting shit out there. He's directing these kids. Like, they're in good hands out here, bro.
Yeah, I see that. He got 1,000 views on the video and don't even have 45 subscribers, which is a fucking shame. Like, you should have some more subscribers right now.
Well, exactly. And again, these are and again, that's the difference, I guess. That's the next level they got to get. You know what I mean? They got to get to the next level.
Doing shows, that helps a lot. To be steady with shows too, and not just in your area, venturing out, which is what we do at fucking Bars Over Bars, because we throw shows from fucking New Bedford to Prescott, Maine. So New Bedford, Mass, all the way up, man. We throw shows. It's easy to network.
That's been the worst thing that I felt bad with this pandemic, with the lack of live shows, was these younger kids not having access to shows. To be able to work on their craft, because that's like you said, you gotta do shows. You gotta be out there. You gotta be off the beaten path a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Shows are great, man, to network with people, people who normally wouldn't listen to your shit, fucking be listening to it. And like I said, it's more pop than ever now, so like more people than ever are listening to it. But yeah, what about, let's check out this Joey the Jet Blimp track too.
So check out his track Heavy, if you can find that one.
Let me see.
That track, that's a different vibe than the one we just listened to.
Okay.
While he's looking for that, Sean, what do you think for Steph? What should I be looking for Steph?
Let's see. He just released some new stuff too.
I'm looking at his SoundCloud. I don't know how up to date that is. 2020, I see some stuff.
Yep. No, and he just had some new stuff that he just released too.
Okay.
Yeah, 40 subscribers. Still, he got 5,000 views on this shit from March. It's good.
I think Loverboy was the last song. I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look at it.
I got this shit.
Yeah, his tracks are dope. Any of his tracks are dope. And then there's a kid named D Vang that's out here. He's real good too. Yep.
All right, so here we go. Joey Jet, Heavy, official video, another visual, which I love to see.
Yo.
Alright, hold up. Come here, back.
I'm ready to kick. Bass going harder like dick on her lips. I'm not an actor, my actions on script. Busting y'all down like the crack of the whip. And I'm taping you down like a package of clips. Gassing y'all up when you... Don't do no fronts cause I'm after the bread. Thanks looking cold when I serve up the piv.
Rolling up bats, I don't do any spliffs. Stacking up bags till I feel that I'm rich. Haters get mad and they call me a bitch. I wrap them in plastic and find them a ditch. I got a lot in my pockets, stay heavy. Hop out the spot, got the Glock and I'm ready. I got the cake in my blunt, no confetti. My team is supreme, be like Ed, and Eddie. I got a lot in my pockets, stay heavy. Bundle and not stay back, my aim is steady. Go hard on the drop, I won't stop, I need Fetty. I chop it like swords or on blocks with machetes. Water my spit cause it's hotter than coals. You get a kick cause you think I'm a joke. Life is a trip, I can't see past my toes. Saturate the pick, if you win it, you do. We pass you winter, we speed down the road. Blunt in my hand, get a finger to pole. Quit all the yapping, you ratting, I know. Fingers be snapping like clapping a pole. Hop out the spot, got the Glock and I'm ready. I got the cake in my blunt, no confetti. My team is supreme, be like Ed and Eddie. I got a lot in my pockets, stay heavy. Bundle and not stay back, my aim is steady. Go hard on the drop, I won't stop, I need Fetty. I chop like soldier, I'm blasting Mercedes. I got a lot in my pockets, stay heavy. Hop out the spot, got the Glock and I'm ready. I got the cake in my blunt, no confetti. My team is supreme, be like Ed and Eddie. I got a lot in my pockets, stay heavy. Bundle and not stay back, my aim is steady. Go hard on the drop, I won't stop, I need Fetty. I chop it like swords or on blocks with machetes. Alright.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. This guy
like
can rap. I like that.
Yep.
Some talent there too. Shit.
Yeah, that's the different side of Bangor.
That's fucking. Guy's only got 40 subscribers, bro. Like I just subscribed, but damn. That's where we need to fucking be like I got fucking shows I gotta be putting these people on. Like I gotta get up.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah, dog. Trust me, we're gonna get a show together with these kids. Don't worry. That shit is dope. What do you got for that Steph? Did you get that Steph song all set?
Yeah. So there's.
You can send a link in the private chat if you want, and I click it and share it.
Well, there's a track on SoundCloud, but there is one on YouTube, so we can get some visuals. If we wanted to.
Yeah, send the link.
VVS. I don't know, Sean.
Yeah, VVS one? Is dope.
All right, so that's a YouTube one. Let me do that. Grab that link real quick.
And it's wild because these kids all have like new projects coming out too. Like this is some of like their last work too. Like a year ago, 6-7 months old. Like they've all got new stuff coming out. Like I've got messages in my inbox. And Obese will tell you how busy I am to return some of these messages. Like each one of these kids, I got a message I'm waiting to get back to right now. Like they're ready to go. So,
yeah.
All right, there's the link if you want to pull that up.
All right, let me share this fucking shit. Steph, CJ, Mozzie, share. All right, here we go. So this one, Steph featuring CJ Mossy. Is he local too, Mossy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. I like already what I like what I'm seeing already with these drone shots. What it looks like from last fall, which is dope.
Yep.
I love drone shots. They're always a good way to fucking break the monotony of the music videos. All right, let's put this on full screen and let it go.
I want a VVS, I want a VVS around my neck, yeah. I want a VVS around my neck. That's enough, Pluto. That's enough. I want a VVS around my neck. I'm mad at my body, I'm driving away, and I might wreck. I swear these niggas don't owe me shit, unless it's respect. So God, I'ma get it, forgive my sins before I rest. Cause I want a VVS around my neck. I'm mad at my body, I'm driving away, and I might wreck. I swear these niggas don't owe me shit, unless it's respect. So God, I'ma get it, forgive my sins before I rest.
Pray to God that he understand all of the reasons I'm going so hard in each all of the seasons. And people so close to me switching up, but I expected it cause I'm all about defense. I done it all, I gave college a feature. I made the shots to put the fans in the bleachers. I fucked around and even swore on my teachers. I even tried wifing a bitch, but I ended up leaving her. So, this the type of bands that I need. I'm beating up the game like Ali. I'm flooding out my chains till I freeze. I'm switching up my flows, but that's easy. VVS, please do not talk about your previous. I'm focused on diamonds, I'm needing it. Ahead of the charge, yeah, I'm leading it, bitch. I could take on the world with no reason in this, and I won't miss a hit. You You can't be my friend, need a reasonable pitch, cause I'm hard on the list. I just need a VVS. I want a VVS around my neck. I'm mad at my body, I'm driving the whip, and I might wreck. I swear these niggas don't owe me shit, unless it's respect. So God, I'ma get it, forgive my sins before I rest. Got a long way to go, look how far I came. From the change in my pockets to a diamond chain. Only ask for respect, I've been through the rain. I hear you talking, just not what you saying. Tell me how old friend that I've been through shit with acting new to me. I hop in a Honda that's new to me. Now they hitting my phone when they using me. Tell me how my own friends be talking the most. I swear that shit usually say they don't fuck with me, well that's news to me. I don't even want how it used to be. I got a plan to go get me a band. I got a band when shit hit the fan. I got your bitch really a fan, and your man's mad he cannot stand me. I was dead broke, you didn't understand me. This is plan A, I didn't make a plan B. I'm the man now, something you can't be. Yeah, I want a VVS around my neck. I'm mad at my body, I'm driving the whip, and I might wreck. I swear these niggas don't owe me shit, unless it's respect. So God, I'ma get it, forgive my sins before I rest. Cause I wanna VVS. I wanna VVS around my neck. Cause I wanna
Yeah, I like that video.
Wow.
That's little bro right there.
Yeah, I like that video too. So all those guys, they got subscribed too. They just got followed by me on Instagram too.
Good shit.
So shout out to them, to gaining fans, and you know, getting to fucking hopefully have have some fucking future stuff with these guys being involved in it. That would be dope.
Absolutely.
But yeah, right now, since we're like on this this YouTube fucking kick, I gotta fucking shamelessly plug myself and play that Live Resin song, the music video that I did, because I told Libsy last time I had my show I'd play Live Resin again. It kind of just re-sparked people's fucking interest, so I was like, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna play that. So let me share my screen again if I can play this Live Resin. Just like one of my favorite fucking videos I put together so far. And we got another one. Actually, Libsy's dropping Hood Favorite 2 on the 17th of September, which is dope. That's another one I shot. So I was down there in fucking May. I shot that. It was just coming out now. But yeah. Let me share the fucking screen here. Share the audio. I always I don't want to forget to share the audio when I share the screen. All right, here we go.
Like I am now listening to a blog big. Like I am now listening to a blog big.
overdose. I'm blowing clouds with the Holy Ghost. Keith Blunt make it comatose. Got imports, get it from the coast. I don't mean to boast, but I do the most. When we break bread, I'ma make a toast. Eat a dick, bitch, I'm the host. You can check the status like a fucking post. Big money like I'm Rockefeller. If you think you big, I'm a Rockefeller. Been underground like a Rockefeller. If the drugs are bad, then I'll rock the cellar. Been magic like Penn and Teller. My competition like Helen Keller. Stay getting cheddar, that mozzarella. I'm eating good and I'm living better. I'm smoking good, that live resonance. What's your gang? I'm a die rapping. My opposition won't find heaven, cause I'm popping off like a live weapon. Take you to school, here's my lesson. Harder than some curry, you can call me Stephen. Harder than some curry, boy, you know I'm chefing. I'm finna blow, I'm Johnny Deppin' like skirt, skirt. Spin around the block, bustin' minutes top, finna make him drop. He ain't breathing right, bust another shot, no witnesses. We ain't getting caught. These twin swords coming with the chop. Lib Z, you know beast finna pop. Don't like 12, fuck a city cop. We moving different, ain't getting bop.
I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again. I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again. I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again. I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again. Major label dude, top shelf is hella proper. Dabs in my bags, all gas, no helicopters. Update your status, sit back and forget the madness. These streets are full of addicts who stay shooting up the magic. We ain't talking Lakers, son, we just talking fakers, huh? This industry is actors, the media distract us. Don't shoot, just ask for help. Refute the truth and live to tell. I'm doing good and living well. I disappeared like Dave Chappelle. Thanks for asking, no more slacking, just me laughing, cracking jokes, dabs and smoke while I'm relaxing. But I keep my clientele. Which way's heaven or live in hell? An atheist if you couldn't tell. I don't believe in either or, so tell me who is bleeding more. I'm hungry for this knowledge, and yeah, I'm always seeking more. Teaching and increasing your capacity for peace and war. Yes, I made this beat. Now hurry up and feed me more. My open eyes are seeing more. What the fuck am I even speaking for? I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again. I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again. I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again. I wanna touch the sky, my friend. Come on, let's go get high, my friend. Live resin inside my pen. Dabs, damn, I'm high again.
All right, so yeah, played it.
No weed was smoked on that video shoot, right?
No. Nah. Not enough anyway. Yeah, no, I had fun making that. And the funny thing about that video, which some people have heard the story before, but we had been to the Quincy Quarries, which is where we did that film where you see the graffiti and shit. We had went there and did the shit, and then the person who I had running the camera with me down there lost the footage. And I got back to Maine and didn't have the fucking footage and had to turn around and go back and reshoot every half of that music video and half of another one. So that's the second time around. And the helicopter shot, the first time we were there, a helicopter flew over our fucking head. And I'm like, oh, because I say, gas in my bags, all gas, or dabs in my bag, all gas, no helicopters. And I say it, and we saw a helicopter. I'm like, oh shit, got it on camera, but he lost the footage. So we went down and we redid it again, and we were like, damn, I wish I would have saw a helicopter today, like kind of like moping around. We had already shot the scenes. We were about to leave. Yeah, coming down off the rocks. I started to hear a fucking helicopter. I dropped fucking my camera. I got the fucking shot of the helicopter. I was like, that was like on some fucking weird fucking conspiracy fucking, no, there is no such thing as fucking coincidence, like mathematically speaking, like, but it happened, and I got the shot, which I was super pumped about. It kind of just made everything. I was like, fuck it, it was worth it, because I got that. Helicopters didn't have to use some like manufactured shot. It was actually there. Right. Corey's like flying over, which was sick. So yeah, shout out Libsy. He's he does a couple shows here for Bars Over Bars, and he's pretty dope rapper who just is like he's always about the bars, like everything that he says, you know what I'm saying? So like he's a solid fucking rapper who like really focuses on that kind of shit, which is dope. So but yeah, let's see, what do we got? So we kind of touched base a little bit on new rap versus old rap kind of discussion, how you're not really biased. And I think when I started off doing this show, it's been 28 weeks I've been doing this show. When I first started off, I was kind of biased in a way where I was just like, I don't really listen to any new rap. And I it's not really even true when you say that, because I listen to a lot of stuff that's new rap. So we came about, though, like by talking to everybody and artists that come on here and stuff like that, we're able to kind of, at least I was able to kind of change my way of thinking. And I just think now I can look back and say, okay, in the era that I like listening, like all my real favorite shit, late 90s, mid 2000s, whatever, there's a lot of artists in there that I didn't like too. So like, there's that in every generation. There's always going to be some.
I'll tell you right now, and this might take you by surprise, I think hip hop is so much more progressed now.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather listen to new hip hop now.
Right.
1000%.
Right.
Fraud, Alchemist, you give me these concept albums, that Benny's just did with Harry Fraud, the Mayhem Lauren projects with Harry Fraud and Alchemist. DJ definitely. Muggs, DJ Muggs and Rock Marciano, like there's some spitters out there. Smoke Dizza. I don't know if you're into Dizza at all. Like there's some the new wave of rap is such a homage to like the throwback era. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like we're listening to new rappers and a new wave, but it's got a throwback feel. But and then you've got all the little Uzis, the little Moseys, and the little whatevers. They're good too. I like it. Like they're bringing something new to the table. And the worst thing you could be that old head saying, all I listen to is golden era rap. Like the kids don't want to hear that shit. You sound like an old head when you say that shit.
Right.
But I get it.
Definitely. For sure.
Get it. I miss the days of Big L. I miss that shit. Just like anybody else. The old Mobb Deep. Like I miss that stuff. But
but it's always going to be
timeless
there.
Stuff. Right. The timeless stuff has aged well. But like you just said, there's a lot of acts that were garbage back then.
Oh yeah. There is, and there's garbage rappers now with big shitty content. Promoting drug use and all that other shit, and then there's shitty content from back then too. No matter what it was, like no matter how you look at it. So, and it's also, I think, a huge difference between culture from now and then. Like you were saying, it was very not accepting of a lot of stuff back in that time. And nowadays, you got LGBTQ rappers and like all this other stuff. For the most part, it's accepted, which is a good thing. I think moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it has become so popular, and one of the reasons why it is considered, pop music these days. But so for live shows, you've done a ton of fucking live shows, been in live shows, thrown the live shows, participated, whatever you want to call it. Now, rapping over backing vocals or no?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
Okay, good.
Seriously.
Now, the reason I understand some people do it, and I'm not going to be like, yo, you suck and get the fuck off the stage, you're never going to come back again. I'm not going to say that. However, from a perspective of being a fan of somebody's music, like if I'm genuinely there to see that specific person, I don't want to hear like what I'm hearing on Spotify, when I'm listening to their music and shit. I want to have like a unique thing, and that unique show doesn't have to be perfect. So you're going to maybe whatever, but that makes the show. That's why the people are paying the money to come to the thing. So, I mean, for me, I like to see that no backing vocals. If you miss a fucking line, you miss a line or whatever it is. Like, just make it genuine. You know what I'm saying? And another thing too that I think a lot of people have gotten away from, and I really like to see is like someone to back you up, like a motherfucking hype man. Right? So like all these artists will just come out and do their fucking shit. They're all by themselves or whatever, and they got no hype man to back them up. And granted, I've been seeing some more of that recently with these shows that we've been doing at Bars Over Bars, and how I've been able to kind of get down there and do some live video and stuff like that. Some people are bringing people out with them, which when I see that, I'm like, yes. I'm like, dope, because that means that, that energy that you get, I think, kind of can be unmatched sometimes when you have that hype man there with you. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong. Once in a while, you'll have a fucking hype man who is just over the top and just like, let's take a step back for a second. But for the most part, I think a fucking hype man is like one of those. It's like a pillar of hip hop in a way.
It's an element. It's an element.
It's a definite element of fucking hip hop for sure.
The good MCs have always had a good hype man. I mean, you look at Jigga. He had Memphis Bleak. You know what I mean? Like you go right down the list.
You
know what
got
I mean? Every good
Busta
MC.
Rhymes and Spliff Star, right?
Spliff Star, dog. Hell yeah.
Star.
Probably Chuck D and Flavor
Flav.
Flav.
I think you could even consider Ghost and Ray, like, because they play off each other like the hype band would.
Yeah.
You know, I had an opportunity I went to London a couple years ago, and Ray's actually a friend of mine. I'm actually friends with his brother, Don, one of my guys. And I was over in London. We linked up, and it was Ghostface and Ray at the Troxy. It's an old venue on the outskirts of London. And I was able to be with them backstage as I walked onto the stage, on stage with them while they performed. You want to talk about energy. There's nothing like it. Like it's my cover photo on my Facebook is actually the back of me and Ray's brother on stage looking at the crowd. And there's nothing like, and like Ghostface and Ray, just like Method Man and Redman in their heyday, like all-time duo. Yep. Batman and Robin and hip hop. I mean, you talk about it.
But it's like any one of those I feel like the Wu-Tang guys could link up and just do like two people go out on tour, and no matter what, they're probably usually going to kill it. You got
Did you see that beef that Noriega got in with the Wu-Tang guys last week on his podcast?
See some of that. Yeah.
So he said that basically, I don't know he called some of the Wu-Tang outskirt members flunkies. Okay, and I'm never going to call anybody from the Wu, but I kind of understood what he's saying by that. But not flunkies. None of them are flunkies. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just all can't be held up to the Raekwons and the Ghostface.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know, and I'll tell you right now, the big thing about Ray and Ghost, their rhymes have aged well, but they are influencers in the culture to present day. Like what they do on the business side of things is so different. Like the younger generation still looks to the Rays and the Ghosts, the Method Mans. You know what I mean? Like, and it's shit. Yeah, I mean, every single one of those guys.
Hell yeah. Definitely fucking miss that era for sure. I wish that more music could come out that was like that. Like, we feel like we just didn't get enough. But I am on board with hearing, new stuff from them. It's just different, Like I heard Method Man. He had a couple good fucking little mixtape runs.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, right. But again, Ghost and Ray, they're still releasing music. And artists are looking to them to be on tracks. You look at again. We keep bringing Griselda up. The first person they mention is Raekwon. In any interview, we go right down. Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, Westside Gun. They point to the mafioso rap legends like Raekwon, Cool G Rap. Like these are the guys that they give you that feeling again. And I I'll go back to Harry Fraud. Like that dude's creating a soundtrack, and Derringer. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Obese. Like Derringer's dope. Alchemist. Like these guys have created such a dope soundtrack for that whole wave.
And they continue. That's the thing, is Alchemist's been doing it forever, and he just kind of adapted but kept the same kind of style going. Like, and he's been working with all these dope new artists too. Like,
oh my god, yeah, and he's putting them on. I mean, that's Alchemist putting them on. Like, and people, and again, we got to give these guys the flowers. I mean, his Alchemist at the top of his game, and he's been at the top of his game now for 20 plus years.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, what about I want to ask like some radio related questions while I got you here. Look, what with so many like streaming options that everybody has now, what do you really honestly see for the future of radio? Like, do you think like radio as we know it is ever gonna just completely cease to exist, or how can they fucking adapt to kind of keep up with this? Or do you think they're doing just fine?
I think the term radio station, as it used to be, and again, I'm not the expert on this, but I don't see radio stations ever going away completely, because they've been able to morph into more of a multimedia front. They're able to be, radios are going to be able to do things that we can't do. They're going to be able to have promos and do live feeds and morning rush hour shows. And, the thing about, I mean, I listen to the radio still, you know what I mean? Because it's easy for me. Like, I work a mile away from home, I don't travel in my car too much. So it's quick. You know what I mean? I got the radio on real quick. You know what I mean? And it's like, I see there's always going to be a room for radio. You know,
Yeah.
where it is, I mean, it's always going to have to change. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
it's gonna
any
have
other.
to adapt. Yeah, for sure.
It's going to have to adapt. It's like anything else. You know, it's going to have to adapt. But you know, again, I see what Hot Radio Maine has done for this scene up here just in the last few years. And then I'm not talking about Bangor. I'm talking since they started. You know, in Portland.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, it's a consistent place for our culture to be heard. You know, and that's what's dope.
What advice would you have, if any, to give to local artists for getting their music heard, whether it's on the radio or just elsewhere, just getting it out there? Like, what do you think is some good steps they could take for that?
I think we've talked about it a few times already. You know, make sure that package is ready to go. You know, and put together, have a story to tell, and be consistent. And you got to, and if you want it, you got to go for it. The only people I know that have made it in this industry, and I've got a few friends, you know, that have made it, and it's their full-time job, you know, and that's what it is. And there's nothing that's going to say no, and it's you know, nobody's going to tell them no. They're going to continue to get out there and do it. And you know, people that we both know people that have made careers out of music, you know, and it's
adapted. And changed
and adapted,
yeah.
You know, and you got to take the shows, and you got to get out there, and like you said, you got to take constructive criticism.
Yeah,
you know, and that's the biggest thing. You know, that's the biggest thing.
It's a big thing for artists, especially a lot of them.
Be humble.
Yeah,
be humble. You know, that's a lot of things. You know, especially these younger cats, and you see it. It's not so much with this generation, because this generation seems to be so much more supportive. You know, of everybody. You know. But you got to stay humble, you know, and you got to be able to work with people and get in the lab, bro. You got to work with producers, and you know, it's hard.
Lucifer says, no sitting on stage, no rapping over vocals. Yes. Hey, bring the energy or go the fuck home.
Yep.
Also, keep your clothes on. He's not trying to see any male strippers at these shows.
Back for that.
We had a dude. I wasn't at the show, but he like stripped down to his fucking boxer shorts in the middle of a show we were throwing, like, because he was so hot. Like, he was literally just sweating his fucking ass off, and they'd be like, "Yo,
oh man,
clothes back on." But it was a fucking riot, and everybody took it as such. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. You're not trying to see male strippers at the shows. Then you look, this dude Lucifer, he's hilarious. He's always tunes in all the shows. I think he's from like Tennessee, so he ain't never really gonna he doesn't come up here to see anything in person. So you're at home and you see someone get naked, just turn your fucking computer screen off, bro. Oh man, but yeah, we're getting pretty close to wrapping up, so I'm gonna give you a few minutes here to do some final shout outs, plug yourself, social media, clothing line, whatever. And then I'm going to play a classic fucking song video that I did from Hero the MC called fucking Boston. And yeah, that's how we'll end it on fucking Boston. So yeah, man, if you got anybody out there you want to shout out and then you want to plug yourself, like, let's do that right now.
No, man, like everybody that we mentioned, you know, on the show so far, these cats, the videos that we played, these young cats that we're working with up here, the Joey Jets, the Stephs, the B-Vangs, the Fazos, the Gordos, Grizzly the Gods, like, that's that next generation, you know what I mean? Just definitely a shout out to those guys. Check me out on Instagram. Queen City Capo is the name. You can check out Vintage Hustle at Vintage Hustle __. You can check out my gear right there. I do everything custom. If you got any ideas you want me to do, we can do that for you. We can do one-off pieces. Definitely, man. Appreciate you guys having me on the show. That was fun. That 2 hours flew by. Love talking hip hop. Shout out to you. You know, continue to success. I'm going to see you up here in October. We're going to get some shows going. It's going to be consistent. Get some of these live acts on it. You guys ever need me again, man? Holla at me.
Oh, hell yeah. Be sure to check them out, man, at Vintage Hustle with the _, and then at Queen City Capo. Yeah, man, it was great to have you and pick your brain a little bit and kind of get in the conversation, and look forward to putting in this work and bringing hip hop back as long as we can stay safe with fucking COVID and everything. And
hell yeah,
that we can get through this here and continue with these fucking shows and doing this shit. But yeah, so thanks for joining us, man. Right now I'm going to play this music video, fucking Boston, which is one of the funnest videos I got to do, and just a super dope fucking song, and really brings you back to, if you never heard any of Hero's music, it's he's 23, but you'd think that this was like 1998 and he was rapping in, like, it's just crazy.
We used to set the precedents, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you all see now in y'all city, it might have originated right here in Boston.
Oh, fucking Boston. Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston. Check where I'm from. Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though, Boston. Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston. Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though.
I'm from the Roxbury where the murder is courteous and they'll shoot you 9 times just for knowing the Curtis. Don't give a fuck about your sense, whether it's 2 or 50. Crews stay together like reunions at Disney. What's history's in the past, but I never will forget being from a city where the currency is still respect. And as I say it, the hero cutting the biggest check for dineros, a ton of zeros with commas left. A rock's tail on these mean streets, none of my friends eat. One eye open, how I get sleep. Tempt me never, these fiends wanna empty me in a deep grave filled with envy. Yeah, you don't gotta like me, son, because I tell it how it is and you tell it how it might be done. So I can stare down the barrel of a gun and still fucking pronounce that I love where I'm from, fucking Boston.
Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston. Check where I'm from. Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though, Boston. Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston.
Check it.
Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though.
I'm from the Roxbury, the berry, but not the fruit, y'all. The way I'm spitting reflect the living is brutal. Take it back, way back to the grapes of wrath. When the splash hit the page, call it ancient raps. Pacing back and forth through my city, I can't pity myself. Don't answer to no one else. If there's a pamphlet on how to run your mouth, you read it like 10 damn times. I can't keep count. I got dreams bigger than Shook. Been a G like Edo or like Fredo. Been a Don, call me Corleone. More than half of the shit in my zone, fully owned. I'm so worried that if I leave, it'll surely close. The bricks here get laid in the sun by hard workers who get paid with a pain in their guts. And if I stare down the barrel of a gun, I'll always say that I love where I'm from, fucking Boston.
Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston. Check where I'm from. Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though, Boston. Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston. Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though, Boston. Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston. Check where I'm from. Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though, Boston. Check where I'm from. I love where I'm from, fucking Boston. Really got my hook up out in Roxbury, though.
Yeah, you don't gotta like me, son, because I tell it how it is and you tell it how it might be done. So I can stare down the barrel of a gun and still fucking pronounce that I love where I'm from, fucking